it can actually be seen up until a year of usage. That's what. And third, and second mechanism we said, mandatory drug testing will be done by an independent third party to ensure that any testing is carried out in accordance with the strict requirement of the law to prevent the system from becoming a tool for abuse and wrongdoing. Third, the university will maintain confidentiality of results and will structure a rehabilitation program for students who will be tested positive. Now, beyond the government side, have seen that drug-related problems concerning students from different universities are becoming very rampant. To resolve this, the state, the universities, the parents, and students must work hand in hand to discourage students from being a victim of drug addiction. Now I will talk about how mandatory drug testing being included in the tuition fee will safeguard students' health and well-being from the harmful effects of dangerous drugs. Now, to further elaborate this, students will be more cautious to use prohibited drugs, knowing that they will have to undergo mandatory drug testing, hence making them safe from drug addiction. Now, more and more students are getting hooked on illegal or prohibited drugs and engaging themselves in the business of selling drugs as well. In the context of drug addiction, university students are frequently headlining the news recently regarding drug-related cases. Thus, the need to implement a mandatory drug testing incorporated in the student tuition fee to finally prevent them from falling further to drug addiction. By requiring universities to include mandatory drug testing in the tuition fee, the fear of being tested positive is instilled in every student's mind, therefore discouraging them to experiment with the use of prohibited drugs. The students will have no reason at all not to undergo drug testing as it is already paid in advance. Now, as an example, including mandatory drug testing in the tuition fee is like getting a health plan. You pay for it in advance and be taken as kids if you get sick. Same goes with requiring universities to include mandatory drug testing in the tuition fee. It gives us the assurance that our students will immediately be put to counseling and rehabilitation once tested positive of drug use, just like a health insurance being paid in advance. This gives us comfort in knowing that our students are guarded against further possible harms of drug addiction. Now, this goes to show that requiring universities to include mandatory drug testing in the tuition fee will indeed warn students of the bad consequences of their engagement in prohibited drugs. This will also develop a positive attitude in them towards drug addiction in their preparation for their mandatory drug testing. Now, to synthesize, we on the government side would like to leave Mr. Chair and the members of the House that including this mandatory drug testing fee in the tuition fee will absolutely eradicate, lessen if not eradicate the use of the students being hooked on drug addiction. Ouch.
You're here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. This is how the most.
Thank you, juAnA.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. This is how the motion that would require universities to include mandatory drug testing in the tuition fee. The government side has said that mandatory drug testing would help students not to use drugs, and it will lessen or eradicate the problem of drug dependency. We on the opposition side believe that even if school will have mandatory drug testing for students, yes, it will answer if the student is positive or negative. But what about the longer process of the effects of usage? Why do these students use drugs? These students use drugs as an escape for something that they don't want to dwell with. That's why even if we will have mandatory drug testing in the universities, colleges, or even for high school students, it will not assure us of having a school that is free of drugs. With the presence of economic problems and struggle for salary support of family who is, yes, you were giving us the notion that students actually result in using drugs if they have problems or they have things that they want to escape from. So, and I've said really the mechanics that they will be given a proper rehabilitation program to ensure that they will be properly